Okay, there we go. It is on, and we are back with the Radcast. This is a fucking big one. 2 days before it actually drops, you're gonna get to hear the whole Lovers EP one or whatever it's just the self-titled, right? Yeah, your self-titled EP right here on Super Rad with commentary from the band. So buckle the fuck up because it's gonna be a good one. So I guess right off the bat, the album art that was done by Abel, right?
Yes, Abel Gingerich.
Yeah, shout out him. He did. He's done some like smoke cases for my band as some early merch and like just all kinds of other shit. So if you want some stuff done, hit him up. Don't make him like the most busy man in the world, but if you got a project for him, hit him up. He loves doing work with bands. And yeah, enough about him. Back to you guys. So let's just jump right into the record, right? Just in general, what were your influences on the record overall?
I would say like for me, a lot of it was just playing together in the room like we did like years ago. Not so much on the last record, but it really like just honed in on the songs a lot. Yeah, that's the vibe. Us just jamming. Mm-hmm. Let Thomas say something.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a lot of influence on this one for sure, no doubt. Like there's a lot of sounds that I just kind of picked up from listening to bands. A lot of it is a lot more influence from the scene on this one, I think, especially too. And that's why I kind of wanted to get a lot of features on it as well and kind of reach out to get more people involved, because it felt like when we were doing these songs, it really felt like we were honing in on this is what we finally found, like, this is what we as a band should sound like. And I think it's what the sound we're really good at just making. And then getting some of the local sounds in there was also a part of it, because the scene has influenced us a lot, obviously, as over the past like couple of years it's gotten really strong. So
so I mean, I guess expanding on that, just from my personal take listening to it, I'm getting a lot of like sludge metal as well as like dark wave, new wave, some of the like goth new wave genres. You guys pick up a lot, like listen to something like Suji's and the Banshees, Acid Bath, Joy Division. You'd say that has a lot on there?
I love that stuff. For me, yeah.
Yes, for Adam, there is a bit of Joy Division in there. I definitely had a lot more garagey influences when I was writing the songs, but for production, it's definitely a lot more like modern, sort of a lot of hardcore stuff kind of in there as well. Yeah. Adam, you want to spit some about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess for me, it has kind of like that darker kind of vibe. Well,
yeah, like almost like a cosmic
thing.
Vibe kind of it too.
Yeah, which kind of that style has. So yeah, and I know we like a lot of bands that are influenced by that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, then jumping in, I guess you guys mentioned a little earlier that it was more of just playing with each other, unlike some other recordings. So how would this project, the recording of this project, the writing, compare to the other projects that you guys done? Because out of anyone in the scene, you guys have like the most. You got 3 full lengths, a couple singles. So yeah, how would doing this compare to any of that other stuff?
I mean, I'll let Thomas say most of it because he wrote it. But for me, like I found like a lot of the songs I kind of contributed to, maybe like I didn't have done, and we just kind of figured it out together. Which before, when we were writing, we kind of finished stuff on our own and then bring it to the band room. And like one song, Cosmic Cafe, Thomas had the riff for like probably 2 years, and we just kind of decided to jam it one day, and then it became that song. So it's just really been more just like revisiting stuff and getting that. But I'll let Thomas talk about the mega philosophical pieces.
So, well, yeah, I guess the big thing that was different between this record and our past couple is during COVID, when we couldn't really jam that much, and we weren't really jamming near as much until the end of about 2020, early 2021. We were making demos for like almost every song. Like I think 80 or 90% of the songs on Punk Less Romantics had a demo ahead of time. So we had a very clear vision even before we started practicing it of what we wanted it to be. We did a little bit less of it for love songs, but we still had like a pretty set vision on how we wanted that record to sound. Whereas this one, we just kind of went like, here are the songs. They aren't finished yet, but we're going to finish them together. And it was mostly just bringing in ideas instead of full songs into the jam room and then finish writing them after we've gotten a taste of what we all sound like together. Like, so it's really just Lovers in the most organic and pure, like, collaboration between the three of us. Yeah.
So I guess song by song. So one was written by someone, one was written by... Because I guess even listening to the record, right, you'll get stuff like with Saturn, with Cellophane, where it has this very, very cosmic sound to it. Whereas other stuff, like you said, with a Cafe, that when he had the riff written for 2 years, it sounds more like something off Punk Less Romantics.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you kind of get that. We all have different styles when we go to write, and we all have different styles of just what we listen to and what we like to play on the side. The songs that Adam wrote, Adam did Full of Hate and Someone, and then Adam brought in Someone and then into the jam room, and it was unfinished. We only really had the verses, and it was a really fun idea where the bass just kind of carries it, and Adam could almost put down his guitar and really pick up the microphone and get the crowd really going. And then we wanted to, just put more into it. So then I wrote the chorus for that song, and it just kind of came together like that. And but yeah, some of the bigger ones like Saturn, we just like playing big, I think. And this time around for this EP, I definitely wrote more for that type of sound. And then you guys will eventually see on that second EP that we've got cooking, there's a totally different sort of vibe about it as well. So,
I mean, yeah, I don't want to like tease anything or spoil anything, but all I know, I walked in to a recording session with that, and that was some fucking wild shit.
Oh yeah, we've got some wacky antics and some really big sounding stuff, but in probably a bit more of like an indie type context.
We literally got a giraffe to play saxophone. Yeah, there's a giraffe playing baritone sax on the next record.
Very sad.
Adam, I think you got into some like spoiled acid or something, man.
I don't know, man. I swear to God, there was a giraffe there, and Drew from No Exceptions got stabbed by it in the parking lot.
I think we need to outsource hiring our next engineer.
Well, yeah, let's bringing it back to the record at hand. You'd mentioned how it was kind of a not abnormal way that you guys recorded it compared to other records, and that would come with some different problems compared to other records. So I guess out of all the songs on it, which was the biggest pain in the ass to fully realize?
That's hard. I mean, I would say like we record DIY like all the time, so this one's definitely been like not easy because it never is, but a bit easier than the last ones in terms of just the technical stuff because we kind of figured a lot of it out. But we play like live off the floor too, so not worrying about the click is nice. But then when you come back to that later, and there's parts without drums, it can be tough.
Cosmic Cafe.
Yeah, Cosmic Cafe like speeds up with the guitar, and that's like not easy. I know that some of the vocal layers we did in a lot of them are not easy to record. So it's mostly just patience with long sessions and getting through the hardest parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it often can take us like a good few tries, but we're all pretty confident in our own abilities, and sometimes it just takes a bit of time. You need to listen to the track and get comfortable with how it perfectly goes to get the timing right. Whenever you're hitting a double, it can be hard to just not get it all muddy, but just taking the time, making sure we get it right, listening back, taking breaks, making sure we're in a good headspace where we can focus. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say.
So, I mean, I guess with that, let's get real geeky on the equipment you guys are using to record, guitars, pedals, whatever you guys want to run your mouths about. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we start with Will. Will, talk about your drums.
Okay.
That's the foundation.
Yes.
Well, we record first.
So I used a good old 6-piece Sonar AQ2 drum kit with some Peisty cymbals, and I tried a China for the first time, and it kind of, I think it added to the darkness a bit and the thickness of some songs, and I think there's a little more voice out of the drums a bit, and they sing a lot better. So yeah, I think not much other than that, but
A lot of splash too.
oh yeah, I got a little bit carried away with the splash. So hope you like splashes.
Yeah. Bass is just kind of my normal setup. Not too crazy, just a lot of distortion. Make it really crunchy, but still have a decent amount of low end, so we have like a clean DI underneath our really crunchy bass. But yeah, just make it sound garagey and make it sound gross for me. And then Adam's got the complicated shit.
All right, let's get autistic.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like for guitars, I mostly play the same stuff I do at shows, like Big Muff fuzz pedal, Plumes overdrive for everything. This amp I hand built myself out of steel I repurposed from the Great Machine Wars of 1862 between Canada and Europe, and it sounds pretty good, pretty crunchy. So that's that. Yeah, I think it's got like magical like crystal tubes in it that have like nitrogen from Jupiter inside, so it sounds pretty sick.
So you're getting it's like an actual like classic tube amp.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Hell yeah. And yeah, I don't know, just a bunch of Telecasters and Jazz Masters all over the place. Yeah.
You're not running a rainbow machine, are you?
I am.
Sometimes.
Okay.
I
yeah.
am. There is a Rainbow Machine. There's a Space Echo. And yeah. And I guess another thing that's not really gear is this is like the first record I think there's like no samples or like Melodyne vocal correction at all. So that's pretty
Oh,
sick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
So
Yeah.
Fooled me and I recorded it.
So yeah, I guess we've been talking about just the general stuff for too long. We'll break down Saturn, and you finally get to actually start hearing the record here. So I guess let's go into Saturn. I have some stuff right now, but I guess just general stuff about the song first off. Whatever you want to talk about.
All right. Saturn is a song that kind of each verse kind of means a different thing. I'm not going to go into too much detail of what they mean because I feel like the way that I write lyrically is often I like to leave the door open for a lot of interpretation with the poetry of it. So when I say stuff like of stars on sidewalks while you walk and set your mind on overdrive, you're kind of thinking of the first verse is kind of getting anxiety about what a career in music and as a musician could look like, because ideally that's kind of a dream scenario for me. And there's anxieties that come with it, like all of the time, like the stuff you hear about famous musicians taking their own lives. It's a hard business and it's always changing. Streaming, there's not a lot of money in just making music anymore, so you have to tour a lot, and touring can be really hard and really tiring. You got a ton of people preaching about mental health, but in order to just live in this sort of business, you kind of got to make a lot of sacrifices, and you don't really know how it's going to go. So you start to wonder if your dreams are really what you actually want, or if that's just a real facade that you're already starting to see before you've even gotten the ball rolling, right?
Well, hell yeah, man. So I guess, yeah, lyrically, first off, so talking about what it was about, let's go into how you write your lyrics. Just so what's your process for that? Because I know I'll just get like a line in my head and go, wow, that's sick. I'm going to run to the bathroom, jot it down on my phone, and then expand on it. That's how I do mine, but...
Yeah, I mean, ideas kind of pop up everywhere. A lot of this album I actually wrote in school while I was in class. I would have a French diction class where as a singer you'd learn how to pronounce a lot of French words, and then in like the second half of the semester you'd just be having performances of people performing their French songs so they can get, graded on it. And during that time you couldn't be on your phone, so I just took a journal and started writing lyrics instead, and my teacher thought I was really smart and taking a ton of notes. But no.
Meanwhile, D's get degrees.
Yeah. I was just rhyming words, Sometimes I just write to the tune of another song. Sometimes I even start with like lyrics from another song, and I'll write out that whole verse for memory and then start just making it my own and write 5 more verses that are completely original that are just kind of to that same tune. And then there's other times where it's just like I have a melody in my head and I can just write it. Other times I just write words and make the melody later. And that's kind of my sort of process of writing. And I try to get it all done in one sitting for the most part. Sometimes I'll leave like a chorus till the end, because a chorus is really just a bow that ties a lot of the ideas together. But yeah, I try to get all my verses done so I'm in a similar headspace and can keep the topic the same. But yeah, that's kind of my process with it.
Right. So, this is going to probably be coming out after the single version of Saturn comes out. So the one with the features is going to be on here. So speaking of the features, how did you pick who is on what part for this song? Because now you have Jill and you have Hunter.
Oh yeah. Well, writing this song, I was really inspired by idols and also inspired by a lot of the sounds of just mall crimes in general. Just the way the lyrics are yelled, it sounds really big. It's got that pushing rhythm through the whole thing. It's just very exposed, open poetry from the singer. And I even wrote a reference to a mall crimes line with the sins of father bit. And so I just thought when the idea of having a bunch of features came up, I was just like, it felt right to just ask, at least, because I didn't know how people would react, because oftentimes in the local scene, at least, there's not really that many people doing like a ton of features on a record or something, but I thought we'd give it a shot. And luckily everybody that we asked, well, almost everybody that we asked said yes, and they were all on board right away. And then with Hunter, I just felt like, he's our boy. We got to get him on the track.
Let's get Hunter on here somewhere.
Let's get Hunter on here. And I felt the third verse was a good fit because it's on performing and kind of, it's still on that dream of living that kind of rock god lifestyle. And honestly, Hunter, he's kind of that pretty boy frontman vibe. He's totally.
He doesn't need more ego.
No, but I felt like, it's a good fit for a song that's kind of about performing in the relationship that you kind of build with, having an audience looking at you and expecting a performance, and then you having to perform it while also enjoying that, but still feeling a bit of the pressure of like, what is my responsibility here? And what am I supposed to do while you're also just trying to do it? So, yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, I guess right before we get into the song, let's just talk about the vocal production on it for a minute. The layering that you guys did on that was great. So I guess what brought that about, was that specifically just because of mall crimes? Because Jill, I know they used a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, we've always really liked doing that. Did it for PLR, but left it behind for a lot of stuff. But yeah, just kind of like that mall crimes idols, like really thick thing. We wanted to do that. And with the features, it's pretty sick to like stack Thomas's vocals on top too and get them to really blend. But yeah, pretty sweet. And that's a song that we felt like the vocals should really like shine through until the instrumentals kind of kick in. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we'll stop yapping for a minute here. Saturn, right here, right now.
Does it always rain when I fall down from the night? Does the storm and thunder cloud behind takes me towards the light? The stars on sidewalks walk and set your mind on overdrive. Your life romanticized to overlive and overtime. Overtime.
Breaking out of such a dollhouse jail, I wander through the toxic river setting sail. 'Cause home is heartless when I know I am a monster. And fucking up, I'll cry out since the father. Since the father.
Cause when I shine, I got a mirror aimed back at my face. When walking on the sun, I'm lacking sense of time and space. And I look through crowds to see my scars on ripped jeans and unraveled hems. And they are me, I am me, I need to be for them. I need to be for them. Need to be for them.
And moving back into the second song on the record, Full of Hate. So, what can you guys tell me about that one? I think you said it was your child, right? That's your baby?
Yeah, that one was like a really weird one for us because when we were on tour in Japan in 1972, we actually met Jimmy Neutron.
Real life in real life.
Yeah.
Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, Jimmy Neutron, and he was with Boy Genius, and then he was just talking about how like he hates how everybody's like so mad at the world and everything's so full of hate, and then I just couldn't let it go.
Well, yeah, okay, that, I think there's a coherent thought in that fucking schizo post somewhere, So I guess, the song, it gives heavy Punk Los Romantics vibes, while the vocals, they give more of a burnt-out Summer Lovers feel. I know you guys kind of said you went in this with just, like, a mixed kind of bag of stuff, but was it even your goal, or would you say at the end it kind of feels like a mashup of the most, like, all your records kind of into one, just sound-wise?
Yeah, definitely a little bit. I mean, we've always liked the classic punk kind of vibe, like the Chats is kind of what I thought of when we first started playing that. But Yeah, we thought it was kind of a good choice, I think, just because Saturn was so much different than a lot of what we've done. So that kind of just like hits them with the classics.
So yeah, just bringing it back to your roots. All right, well, here you go. Here is Full of Hate, Lovers.
I just want to know how I got so full of hate. Will you be mine, be mine, be mine, be mine, be mine? Won't you be mine? Or be nobody else's at I just want to know why everybody's so full of
All right.
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing about the fucking boy genius thing.
Yeah, no, these schizo posts are nice.
On tour in Japan in 1987.
In
It's hard
1987.
to hold in my laugh during that. I'm like, fuck, I can't. Oh, sorry.
All right, well, that brought us back in because I'm leaving that in.
Oh,
So,
man, that song was so good.
all right, so yeah, next track, Somebody. So, the opening to this track, the main riff in general, it takes a lot of inspiration from this, or at least it feels like it takes a lot of inspiration from like Vietnam vibe kind of stuff, that like classic kind of psych rock, a little bit of that $40 Henny shit. Is that some shit that you would have put down on that as an inspiration?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I mean, that bass riff, Thomas was playing that for years too.
That's like.
It was
that
a really
is
old
like
riff.
6 years old now.
Yeah, but I guess like probably when Thomas came up with that, we kind of left it behind, and then I started making stuff with it. But we were playing like covers and stuff, like even CCR and stuff, basically in high school. So yeah, it definitely has that vibe. And $40 Henny's sick.
They're pretty fucking
Yeah,
dope.
love those guys.
All right, so the second question I got for this one, there's some spoken word parts on that, and I guess the big thing I'm wondering, is that like a different mic? What was the vocal processing for that? Was that your pedal mic coming back out, or is that thing dead after you puked on at the diver?
That thing was toast after that show. I mean, that was the original idea, use the puke mic, but it didn't work out.
Then it got puked on.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it became the
So-
puke mic.
Yeah. Then we thought about plugging like a normal mic through an amp or something weird, but then we just decided to use our normal setup and just do some funky stuff afterwards. Yeah.
All right, so I mean, you want to break down kind of the funky stuff you did with it?
The puke mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you puked on the actual audio recording track.
Yeah.
Digitized the puke, man.
Well, Universal Audio just released a puke plugin. So, no. I think I just sent it through like an amp simulator and then cut like all the lows and highs. We wanted it to kind of sound like somebody like protesting on the streets a bit. So, kind of wanted like a megaphone thing, so like reverb and that. Yeah. Yeah.
You got anything else you want to talk about with that track, or can we launch right into it?
We can launch right into it.
All right, Somebody.
Yeah.
right, bringing it to the next one. You got that prick from the Drafted on it. Broken Smiles.
Damn.
So, yeah, this one, I'm on this one, so, haha, jack myself off, funny joke. But yeah, so it gives this heavy Counting Worms vibe. I remember, like, telling other people when I'd first heard their cut, it was like, yeah, this is like your guys' version of Counting Worms by Knocked Loose. Yeah, arf. Is that kind of like, is that kind of what inspired this? To have any inspiration from that?
No.
Okay. I guess moving on to the next question.
No,
Wait, give me this.
the inspiration
I
came.
think Ryan just wanted an excuse to talk about Knocked Loose for a couple minutes.
I know
I'm
you-
going to be so honest.
I know you love Knocked Loose, but the inspiration for this track came from the weirdest thing. Because I watched the 25-year anniversary of South Park when they got, like, it was like a big thing that they did on stage with Primus, and they did a bunch of Rush covers and
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
And then he was telling him how he wrote the theme song for South Park. And he brought out, like, the fucking stick with a string on it. And he's like, and I was just like, that's pretty sick. And then I just did it on bass, and I did like a and I was just like, this is fucking groovy. And then I wrote like makeshift, like pretty much placeholder lyrics just to like repeat over it, and just did that a few times. And I was like, this song is great, but I don't want to put anything else into it because I don't know, it just felt perfect as it was. So I'm just like, fuck it, we'll do a 30-second song with this one. And I felt it really worked that way. But yeah, the disappointment in Will's face when I brought it to the band room. And then he's just like, that's it? It's done? Now, Will, do you want to speak on your hardcore emotions?
Feels lied to.
Yeah, it was definitely the one song that I wish was longer because I love that. I don't know. It probably sounds the tightest on the album, but it just ends too quickly, I think, and doesn't seem to have a conclusion. But I guess when it was finished, I understood it, but I still don't.
Understood it,
still don't
man.
get it.
It's called
Message
high
came
art,
across.
bro.
Yeah, emphasis on the high part. So, yeah, I guess going to the next part, obviously I'm the feature on this, but just from, like, a musical style perspective, etc., what kind of made you take my, like, harsher vocals on there? Because I know Adam does the screams, but I have, like, more like a traditional metal sound, I guess. So what made you kind of feel like that's the sound for that track?
I mean, Thomas was the one who was like all after you, but I know,
And Thomas wants his pussy.
yeah.
He's in your house.
You are in my house sitting on my couch.
Fuck. But
Leave
I
your
love your
clothes on,
vocals.
guys.
Oh yes, you'll find me prostrate on my bed. Okay, but yeah, I don't know. Well, we were outside of Grogats, and you showed me the demos you made for the Drafted stuff, and they were recorded so like shittily. No offense.
No, it's
but it's like
storage
it
unit.
sounds so bad, but then your vocals always popped through in those mixes, and I was just like, no, you have like actual technique, and it's impressive because I've never seen your band live, so it was just a good hit, and I was just like, I kind of want someone who has a really full scream type vocal with a lot of volume, because the stuff that I do is like often really trebly, and a lot of the stuff Adam does too is like harsher on the treble, on like the really high trebly like type tones, but you had like the whole like a ton of resonance, and yeah, just a fuller sound, and I was like, that's kind of what I wanted on the record.
All right, fuck yeah. Well, we'll play it right here. This one is 45 seconds-ish, right? It's a real short one.
Something like that.
So we'll do that, and then we'll play It's Okay,
It's cute.
and then we'll be back to talk about It's Okay. Woo! So Broken Smiles, and then It's Okay, Lovers. Going into It's Okay. So let's just get some general stuff again on this one. The inspirations, the recording, the writing.
Big Nirvana vibes. Definitely that grungy thing we like. Thomas wrote this one, but I know for me, like, getting that kind of contrast between the trippier stuff that's going on and then the really, like, heavy kind of thing was pretty cool. Messing with the vocals in the recording was really fun for me too, and all those noisy solos. Will, man, you got something to say? Talk about Neil Peart or something.
Talk about Neil Peart or something.
I can't even remember. I can't remember what song this is.
It's the one that goes like. It's okay. No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You know the.
Yes. Yes. Now I know.
Smells like Teen Spirit.
Yeah, it's like Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, I even thought that when we started jamming it, it was more like 16th note kind of feel kind of thing, and I don't know, it felt like the right thing to do, more grungy kind of beats and keep it more raw rather than nice and clean sounding kind of thing. More changing abruptly than something specific. Kind of just jammy, I guess, in a way. Yeah.
What was the question again?
Just general vibes off of It's Okay.
General vibes. Oh, I think the thing that inspired this song, and I wrote this song like right off the bat after finding it. There was this Incorrect Thoughts session for the band Blue Freezy. And I totally forget what song it was, but I was just like, that sort of like cool garagey sound with the intro part was like, it just kind of came to me right away because I heard that and then I was just like, I should write a song like that. And then I picked up my guitar and just played it. And I was just like, I think that's just it. And then the rest of it, I was just like, let's just make it really grungy and, you know, like a good punk standard type thing. And I think it turned out pretty solid for what I was going for with it. Yeah. And Adam, of course, sprinkles a ton of his guitar sauce all over it. And boy, he made it tasty.
All right, so we're going to jump just right into talking about Cellophane here. Remember you telling me that was your favorite one that you did on the record was Cellophane.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I got a bunch for this one because it's fucking sick. So, the lyrical inspirations. I know that's your song, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, it gives these vibes of like feeling fake, not knowing yourself, and derealization.
I mean, the lyrical inspiration for it, well, I feel like on every album that we've done, I've written a song about me hypothetically dying in a way.
Oh, it's just
And it's
like 4 songs about
it's
killing
not
myself.
even supposed to be in like a depressing type of way. It's just, death is fascinating to me, and I think a lot of people, and it's not exactly, I don't think it should always just be a sad thing, because it's just a part of life, right?
Yeah, it's the end of the cycle.
And just thinking about like hypothetically when I die, a big inspiration for this one was kind of car seat headrest. And off the record, Teens of Denial, there's the 1920s skate park.
1932 skate.
1930 skate park, and then he's just like, what, a guy dies in the hospital, what does he leave behind? Just a journal and a pair of Air Jordans. And then that whole album cycle, and with the other 2 that are attached to it, Twin Fantasy and Teens of Style, there's just a lot of talk around that, and what do you leave behind you when you die? What happens when you die? Like, how do people react when you die? The people that are close to you and the people that aren't close to you. When I say, I used to wonder if I were dead, would I have more memories and have more friends? Would the people that I never talked to, or like that just kind of saw me like back in high school or elementary school, would they just like come out and say, yeah, he was a really great guy, I knew him in school, we were good friends? And if I were alive, I'd say, you never talk to me. It's like, who the fuck are you? So just kind of playing with that sort of idea. And it all kind of came about from this one sort of dream that I kind of had of just like waking up in a body bag and then unzipping it. And then after that, it got really fucking unraveled because it was a dream. But just the idea of waking up one day and then you're dead. And then you just think about what happens, not to just the physical me, but the idea of who I am outside of my body and the relationships that I have. What happens to those? And that's kind of where the song comes from.
Right, and so moving into other parts of the song here, I remember you said there was no samples, no bullshit on this record. There's a choir around 2 minutes into this track. How the hell did you guys get that in?
It's all me, baby.
Oh, shit. Because you were a trained opera singer. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. I went to school for opera. I've been in choir almost all of my life. So
that's all you, just layered.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I did. This is the one song, I think, for both of the EPs where I did a very thorough demo of it, because I wanted to get all of those harmonies stacked up really nicely and go in with a plan, because I'm pretty passionate about this song and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So to get that sort of colossal vibe, I wanted to make sure the harmonies were right going into it. But in terms of just writing it, you just kind of feel it out while you record it. Try harmonies, stack them up on top of each other. You can either build up or build down from top to bottom is how I usually like to organize it. But I don't know. I've always just been able to kind of go into the vocal booth with like an idea of what I want and then just try stuff until you get a good stack of 4 or 5 harmonies. And then you get that really colossal choir sound. Throw like a chorus or something on it, make it sound all thick, and yeah.
Hell yeah.
It just comes out.
So also another, just something you can't miss on this one, Adam's guitar tone. It's definitely swapped up on this, especially with that little solo around the 3-minute mark. So you want to talk about what you changed on that?
A lot of that's like a space echo delay for like the main guitar. I mean, we use so many guitars, it's hard to remember what's what. But I know for this one, we use like my Guild, like the white one I'm playing at shows all the time.
Was the one you bled on a bunch?
Yes, that's the one.
I got a memory of that the other day. I got a memory of your bloody guitar the other day, and I meant to send it to you, but I forgot. But it was cracking me up because I'm like, Jesus Christ, how is this still going?
It's horrible.
Bodily fluids out of this man on a Guar show.
How do you think they load the blood cannons?
Adam's
Yeah.
sitting there for 5 minutes, just like. "Ah."
Blood adds to the tone. It's true. But yeah, I know that Guild cuts a lot. We used a fuzz face distortion instead of like the normal big muff because we wanted kind of that vintagey thing. So that was pretty cool. But I feel like a lot of the hugeness of the guitars really came from just like there's not heavy guitars for most of the song. So when they come in, it just like really hits super hard. Yeah. I also use this green pick made out of like a tooth in the shape of a devil skull that I got from Ben Stiller.
You bastard.
And it just like made my tone great, and then I could play all this crazy stuff.
You haven't even seen him sweep pick yet.
Yeah, I can sweep pick
And
with
Jack
one
Black
finger.
was there.
Yeah.
We drove all the way out to Cleveland.
All right. Well,
Sail down a river.
deactivated lasers with hard necks. All right, so Cellophane Lovers.
Wrapped around time
closing off the record, Cosmic Cafe. I have something about vocal processing at 220, but I can't fucking remember what that was about.
Oh, is that there's like a weird like phasery thing
Yes,
during
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
breakdown.
the phaser and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we like our vocal effects and just kind of threw that in because it gets big and heavy and vocals aren't really the main thing. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Thomas has a good sound for that kind of stuff.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess it's the last song I always like to talk about, just ordering the tracks on the record. So I guess what made you guys pick this one to be the closer and just anything else about all the ordering?
This one was a closer because the original song was supposed to be a lot longer. My original idea was to do this really big, vast ending, sort of like, you know, the album version of White Rabbit, where it just kind of goes on in a jam. So that final like re-entry, my original idea was to have that go on for like another 3 minutes to pretty much double the runtime of the song. And then it ends and sort of falls apart like Rottweiler by Idols, that type of thing. Have some barbaric yelling over it or something. And then in the jam room, we felt like we could do it, but then we were just like, this feels like a lot more of a live thing than a recording thing. So maybe we'll bust that version out live sometime. But for now, I think we made a good decision to just kind of shorten it up. And yeah, in terms of just like the whole order of it, the rest of it, this one had a lot more iterations in my mind of just how the track list would be ordered than either of the past two records. It usually comes pretty naturally, and I feel like I got a good grasp of how I want to program certain track lists. But since we were kind of going in without like a very fleshed out idea from the get-go with just jamming these songs, it was a bit more loose, and there was a lot of trading also between the two EPs because they are kind of connected a bit together because it's going to be like Lovers 1 and Lovers 2. So we didn't know from the get-go which tracks would be on which one. We just kind of picked once we were already in the process of, you know, getting them done. Yeah, I guess that's what I'll say about it.
All right. Well, closing off the record with Cosmic Cafe.
Oh, tell me spirits in my bed under the floor in my basement. Watches, crotches, empty bottles.
that is the whole record. If you want to sit there, listen to it cover to cover without babbling between it, you're going to have to wait until Thursday, because this drops Tuesday the 16th. It comes out the 18th, right?
Yeah.
So you get 2 days where you got to listen to us babble, and then you can have the entire record if you behave. We're not going to McDonald's if you don't behave. But yeah, and then you guys, Grogettes, April 20th?
Grogettes 420, baby.
And not only is
gonna
it
be a
your
good
release
one.
show, Sonic fucking Haze
Sonic Haze making their debut.
and Ave Noir.
And Avon Noir.
Let me just get real geeky about Sonic Haze for a minute. That used to be Spinster Jones. I am in tears that they're back. And on top of that, not only is Mike, my drummer, playing with them, my bassist Kat is also playing with them.
Oh, Cat's playing with them.
Yeah, she's jumping on bass.
That's sick.
This is my first time hearing that Spinster's back, by the way, and yes.
Full record, April 18th. The show at Grog's, April 20th. Anything else that you guys have coming up that you want to plug? Any upcoming shows? Anything about the next E EP?
Oh, if you haven't already, I released a solo EP called Nothing on all streaming services on April 1st. So you should listen to that after you finish this Radcast.
And then after you listen to that, you should go watch the review that's hopefully going to be out before this Radcast comes out that I put out about it. Plug fucking Ception, bro.
Ooh! Goddamn!
Oh!
I guess other than that, we've got a show on May 1st as well at the Holy Diver. It'll be our first ever acoustic show. And
Editing Ryan here. That show is actually at Groget's, not the Holy Diver. It got moved. Fortnite, Cart Night, something. I don't know. Anyway, back to the podcast.
and depending on how it goes, it might be our last. but yeah. Anything you guys want to throw out there into the airwaves?
If this is coming out on the 16th, that means Will and Thomas's birthdays are in a couple days. Yeah. Y'all gotta get them presents and things and
Bring them
stuff.
to Grogettes.
It
Yeah.
drop happy birthdays in the
Thomas wants Crocs.
Yeah, he evidently needs more fucking Hawaiian shirts too.
You can't have enough.
All right, that's super rad.
Rad